The next day, Jacob woke up early in the morning. He exercised for about an hour and cooked breakfast for his grandma. Then he joined her for a walk along the beach in the early sunshine.
Jacob, you've become much more energetic these days.
Grandma smiled at Jacob as the sea breeze billowed through her hair. My appetite has gone up as well. Jacob smiled back at her.
Are you seeing someone at the university?
Grandma smiled and asked. No. Jacob shook his head.
You must have gone on a few dates, I'm sure of it. Don't try to hide it from me. I can tell. You've had good luck with women lately.
Grandma chuckled. Education is my priority while I'm at the university. Why would I date a girl and distract myself? Jacob tried to keep the young woman from popping into his mind.
That's your father's opinion. I, on the other hand, encourage my Jacob to date. I'm sure whoever you're dating is a nice girl. Next time you visit, bring her along. I'd love to meet her.
Grandma's smile spread wide with enthusiasm. She had the warmth of a sunflower. All right, as soon as I get a girlfriend, I'll bring her to meet you. Jacob promised, and Grandma's smile became even brighter. The two of them looked at the lolling ocean for a while, before slowly heading back home. Along the way, Jacob picked up many little shells and put them in his pocket.
You've collected a lot of shells growing up, haven't you?
Grandma watched as Jacob squatted to examine a few shells. As souvenirs. Jacob straightened up, then threw a shell high in the air and caught it.
Jacob, you've been fond of the ocean ever since you were a little boy. That's because your heart is as vast as the ocean.
Grandma praised her son. She didn't stop there, however.
You are also affectionate and kind. How come no girl is into you? When will you give me my great-grandchild?
Jacob did not see this coming. He tried to hide his cheeks, which were now bright red. He was nowhere even close to dating, and his grandma's thoughts were miles ahead. Up until now, he thought she was just missing her son, but turns out she was seriously thinking about her grandson with a wife. Jacob shook his head and walked her back to the house. Then he started to pack for college. Grandma stuffed his backpack with all kinds of snacks and local products, making his bag heavier and bulkier than what he had carried from his dorm.
Bring it to college and share with your classmates. I like Sam and those other roommates of yours. What are the other two called?
She walked Jacob to the door and beamed at him. Nick and James. And yes, Grandma, I know. I'll share my food with them. You take care of yourself, Grandma. He shifted the straps on his heavy backpack and began his walk. The people of the area all had their own cars or bikes. As the houses were few, and since everyone had their own commute, there weren't any bus stops nearby. The closest one was located near a tourist attraction. That's why Jacob had to walk for half an hour before arriving at the bus stop. On the bus, Jacob smiled to himself. That was a pleasant visit. The bus headed toward the city. The salty sea wind blew through Jacob's hair. The peaceful trip made him forget about the weekend's previous chaos. Once at his dorm, Jacob started to distribute the snacks his grandma gave him. It would take him over 2 weeks to finish them all by himself. The reason why Grandma packed so many snacks for him every time was to let him share them with his friends. In fact, his friends were also expecting these snacks. they knew that Jacob's grandma was fond of them all. Grandma is the best. She's so thoughtful and kind. Should I listen to her and actually start dating? Would seeing me with a girlfriend cheer her up? Jacob realized that he wasn't feeling as tired as he usually did after the visit home. He had walked with a heavy backpack, spent all day helping out his grandma, and took a long bus ride. Why wasn't he tired after doing so much? In fact, he was feeling energetic. It was great to feel this way, but strange too. Jacob was lost in his thoughts, and his one hand was clutching the large table in their dorm. He decided to test his strength and managed to lift up the table a few centimeters from the ground with only one hand. He was shocked. He immediately turned to Sam and asked, "Sam, didn't you say you want to arm wrestle with me again?" The same was opening up a pack of chips in excitement. He turned around to face Jacob immediately. "Why? You want to arm wrestle with me? Let's give it a go." Jacob sat up properly in his chair. He leaned forward on the table, taking an arm wrestling position. "Damn, did I not defeat you hard enough last week? I will only use half of my strength for the sake of all the snacks you've brought." Sam put the packet down and sat in the chair opposite to Jacob. Jacob's physical strength was in fact not all that bad. His legs were strong due to his habit of going for runs and frequent walks every day. That's part of the reason he was able to catch the falling girl without much problem. However, he didn't have a lot of upper body strength, and that was why he always lost to Sam in arm wrestling. Sam was 6 feet tall and had an athletic build. "Let me show you what an instant defeat in arm wrestling feels like." Sam rolled up his sleeves confidently. Jacob was about to roll up his own sleeves, but he remembered the green mark on his arm and thought against it. The duo bent their right elbows on the table and firmly gripped each other's hands. A couple of students passing by in the hallway saw them. They called out to others, and soon there was a small crowd from the neighboring rooms. Sam and James took up the role of the judge and called out,
3, 2, 1, go!
"Ah!" Sam shouted as he gathered all his strength. Sam's arm fell on the table with a thud. Everyone was shocked to see this. "That doesn't count. That doesn't count. I wasn't ready yet." He waved his hands and said, "You started before I even sat still. You cheated." Sam was exasperated at what just happened. He was trying to save face. Jacob was shocked too, but tried to keep a steady expression on his face. He didn't want everyone to see what he felt. "One more time." Sam gripped Jacob's hand. He wasn't willing to admit defeat.
3, 2, 1, and go!
Announced James. The second match seemed tougher for Sam, as he had to gradually put his full strength to compete with Jacob. In the past, not only was arm wrestling with his best friend effortless, Sam also instantaneously won against him. Tables had turned this time, but Sam tried hard. His face turned red as blue veins popped out of his arm and forehead. He slowly took the lead in the match. Jacob's arm banged on the table. Sam beat him. The students in the room jumped up and cheered as Sam rubbed his sore arm. "Your arm strength has improved, buddy," he told Jacob, feeling a glimmer of pride for his friend, as well as a tinge of envy. "Still couldn't beat you." Jacob smiled bitterly. All right. Let's eat these snacks.
Snacks! Snacks! You took my chips while I was wrestling.
Sam jumped up and snatched away his bag of chips from Nick. They were both too busy bickering to notice Jacob quietly walking away. Jacob reached the dorm balcony and leaned as he looked at the trees in the dusk. I didn't use my full strength in the first match, and yet I was able to defeat Sam with ease. Then I decreased my strength on purpose so he could win the second match. That was a significant increase in my strength from last week's arm wrestling match. Jacob looked up at the moon with uneasiness as he rubbed his wrist. He was changing, and he didn't know how or why.